Good afternoon. I am just doing a little update on some of what's been done with the vehicle, which honestly isn't much, but I have been getting some stuff done. I'm gonna switch the camera around, so brief second. Oops, sorry. All right, hopefully that updated. So I got the two front tires off. You can see one there. That's a replacement tire sitting next to it. And I had manually removed one of the front tires and swapped it. So if we go over here, you can look and see I do have a front tire on it now, and I'm hoping it's holding air. Replaced the valve stem because that was missing. Looks like it may have lost some air. I don't know how much. Probably all of it, who knows. But we have a tire on it. So like I said, you can see I'm pushing in on the, and there's quite a bit of give. So I'm guessing there's not much air in it. But, you know, if I get it to hold enough air to move it over into that spot there, that'd be huge. So that's one. But I had a really hard time with it. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole process simply because there's a million and one videos on YouTube on how to change a tire if you need to change a tire. Let me switch the camera here quick. All right, so yeah, so there's, you know, like I said, there's a ton of tires on how to, or not tires, videos on YouTube on how to swap a tire manually. I'm gonna pick up my wife's gloves here. That's not, you know, I don't know that that's necessary for me to record. Like I said, just because there are so many out there. But since I was having such a hard time with it, I'm gonna switch the camera around here real quick again. I went to the Harbor Freights and I picked up one of these here Pittsburgh portable tire changers, manual tire changers. So I thought I'd bring you along getting this set up because, you know, I got to get it set up. So I'm going to set the camera down here. I don't know if that's going to be good or not. And I figure, you know, I can get this pulled out and we can see how it does changing a tire. Because I'm going to need to get these last couple tires changed. And I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty major help for me. Again, just because the manual process without one of these is quite the pain in the butt. So we got here, this is the post for, you know, separating the bead from the tire and pulling that off and then resetting the tire on this side. And then we got the actual stand right here. And I'm guessing we've got mounting stuff to, you know, set it up. My goodness, I am overweight. You notice it, but you don't notice it until you really notice it and see it. And I knew I was, but my goodness. All right. So here's one of the arms. I don't know if there's two in here. It kind of feels like, yeah, there's two in here. Oh, there's a couple things in here. All right, we got some instructions. Stand back here so I'm at least in the picture. I'm doing all this on my phone, guys, so I'm sorry if the, you know, the video quality sucks or if it's, you know, hard to stay in view or keep things in view. Maybe one day I'll have something better, but for now, the phone is what I got to use, so that's what I'm going to use. So I appreciate you sticking with me, to say the least. All right, well, I don't know what's going on with this tape, but there we go. My goodness. I don't know how they tape that on. Now, love it, bash it, whatever. There's a lot of, I think, mixed feelings about Harbor Freight. I'm a big fan. Especially, you know, right now when I'm in between jobs and don't have a lot of extra funds. Harbor Freight's a great option to get stuff you need to get stuff done. Now, okay, I was gonna say, I'm missing hardware though. That's gonna be a problem. You know, and I think they get a bad rap, and I get why, because they sell a lot of overseas stuff, and yeah. But I mean, I've never had a bad issue with anything Harbor Freight, and if I've needed to replace something, they've always been really good about replacing it. I think I hate to say it, but I do think it's a lot of, in most cases, it's a lot of manufactured hate. Whether it's because they're, you know, the person representing it has their own kind of need to, because they're, you know, a brand affiliate of like a Snap-on or whatever, Mac, whatever the case might be. And this looks pretty easy to put together, so I don't know that I'm gonna walk you through every step of it. If you want one, pick one up. This is 60 bucks. I think I paid $78 total for this, because I bought the 2-year extended warranty, full replacement extended warranty. Like, duh, of course I'm going to buy that. For that cheap? I don't have a whole lot of money right now, but even I know, you know, a $13 extended warranty, granted most of the time they're garbage, is a good deal. And I'm going to take that good deal. Now, I guess I should take a second too to preface, I bought this. This wasn't like, I'm not sponsored by Harbor Freight. I don't have any affiliation to Harbor Freight. I did apply for a cybersecurity position at one point with Harbor Freight, but I didn't get it. So, like, I don't have any ties to Harbor Freight. This isn't like me. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. This isn't me advertising for them because I'm getting something out of it. I bought this with my money. I'm putting it together before you. I have the receipt right here. You can see Harbor Freight, Rogers, Minnesota. You know, I'm not going to show you the whole receipt because there's personal information on there, but right there. This is the important bit. Manual tire changer, $59.99, and then I also got the $12.99 warranty. So I bought this. This is me reviewing something I bought while I put it together so we could try to change a tire together. You know, again, kind of going back to the conversation, I've just not ever had a bad problem with their stuff. It's always worked fairly well for me. Is it the best quality ever? Not always. I mean, that you could tell it's cheaply made, it's cheaply manufactured, but it works. You know, I mean, it does what it needs to do. All right, so I need to take I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave this little rubber thing on the front. Seems like a nice little grip for the wheel. I need to take this and put this on. I think all the bolts are the same size. I'm not seeing any different size bolts here. Or nuts. I do need to figure out what size they are. I'm going to grab the old metric 16 because that's what it looked like. And lo and behold, that's not right. So what is 16 in SAE? That's 12 is a half. Well, it's got to be like a 9/16 then maybe? I don't know. Not an 11/16, is it? That's way too loose. So that would mean it's not a 3/4. What's 10/16? 5/8? It might be a 5/8. Where are we at here? That's a 17. Let's see if a 17 will work. Look at that. 17 is like spot on. All right. So. That goes through there. Whoop, 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 whoop. This is always the fun part. Maneuvering. Okay. Alright, so we know it's a 17. We got one bolt on. Two bolts on. Okay, what do we got here? What size are you? You're 15. Trying to find a 17. That's a 21. There it is. There's the 17. All right. Got that. I need to find... Where is it, I wonder? Oops. Double oops. Sorry, the wind's picking up. It's supposed to rain here soon. So this is going to get interesting. I'm going to leave you guys pointed. I'm just looking to try to find my power ratchet. Must be in my other garage. Alright, so we'll just do a manual. That's fine. It'll work. It'll work. It's loosen, right? You tell you lefty loosey, right? Alright. So I'm sorry about the angles and stuff here. I'm got my phone set just kind of on a little thing here, and yeah, needless to say, you work with what you got, right? All right, sorry about that. I'm still here, I promise. I'm still here. All right, let's get another leg on here. So, update on what's been going on. I've had a few interviews. I think I mentioned this before. My day job, I'm actually a cybersecurity guy. My previous employer ended my role, so I've been looking for work. And I've had some pretty promising interviews, if I'm being honest. At least I'm hopeful. That's noisy. I don't know. It's that fine line of I'm excited. I think the opportunity is mine to lose. At least one of them. The other, I'm not sure. I don't think I met what they were looking for. And that's fine. That's going to happen. I'm not going to be a 100% match for every job out there in the field that I'm looking in. I'm aware of that. And not every place is going to be a 100% match to me. The one I'm most excited about, I think I have a good shot at. But I don't know. I don't want to put the cart before the horse, as they say. I don't want to get my hopes up to find out that I'm not the candidate they're looking for. But I think the interviews went very well. And, I'm hopeful at what the response will be. I'm still waiting and obviously still looking. But I'm optimistic. I think that's the best word to use. I'm optimistic. I would be bummed if I didn't get it, but at the same time, the business world doesn't revolve around. Oh, I got the door open. Sorry, my wife is coming out, taking the dog out. The business world doesn't revolve around me, and I know that. This is kind of cool. So this holds the tire on. You just screw it in there. I'm gonna grab the tire and get that on here really quick. So I'm gonna step out of frame. But anyways, I know the business world doesn't revolve around me. And it's all about opportunities and chances. But that all being said, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that I made at least as best of an impression for the role I'm looking at as I could. And we'll go from there. It's kind of a tough market right now. There's a lot of people looking. All right. Get that wedged in there. I think that's right. Okay. Anyway, there's a lot of people looking, and I'm one of many. So all I can do is what I can do. But I feel like I made the best impression I could make. I feel like there's high probability that I'm the candidate they're looking for. Oh, come on. There you go. This bead doesn't want to break at all. There we go. All right. Luna! Stop it! My mom just came home too. All right, I'm going to break this tire free. I'll stitch these together and we'll go from there. There's a lot of chaos happening right now, so expect this to be kind of stitched. All right, so this is kind of part two, I guess you'll say, but this is where I've gotten so far with this tire. I got the bead broke all the way around on both sides. The biggest problem I'm having is just how rotten the tire is, and the fact that that base wants to keep moving. Now, this is the first one I've owned, but like, I don't think it should tip like that. And if you look at the base, like you can see, it's not square at all. I'm trying to use it as is, but it's very hard to hold steady. I'm trying to figure that part out, and also figure out what I could do to kind of get this to come off a little bit easier. I'm kind of thinking some soapy water maybe might help lubricate it a little to get it off. I don't know. I'm gonna kind of keep working on this. I'll bring it back, but this is where I got so far. I even brought out a pry bar to try to help maybe pry the lip up and over a little bit more, so maybe it would be a little easier to spin it and get it off. But that thing is the other concern I have, and I don't know if you could see in there very well, is just how rusted the inside of this rim is. I got a wire wheel. I'm gonna spin the crap out of it on here and hopefully clean that up. But yeah, I'm a little worried that this rim might be no good. But I'm gonna keep plugging away at it. I'm gonna see what I can get done here. Hopefully I can get this tire off. And yeah, I'm gonna have to just keep working on it. Now, I don't know if this is a 15-inch or a 14-inch rim, but this tire is a 14-inch. So I don't know if that's another reason why I'm having so much issues with it, is just because of how tight it is on the rim. I don't know. I got a lot of things to figure out here. I'm gonna do some interweb searching to see if I can find some concrete anchors so I could maybe bolt this down to the ground and like be able to bolt it and unbolt it as I need. But yeah, as it stands right now, the way it isn't going to work very well. So we're gonna have to figure that out. So more to come. I'll be back though. Don't you worry. We'll get this figured out. All right, just thought I'd jump in and show where we're at really quick. That's a little better. I can't even talk. I'm so tired. This is a lot of work. So last we left that we were watching with the tire, I was still trying to get it pulled off the rim. I'm still stuck at that point. The stand is just too kittywampus and it's moving around on me too much. So I did a thing. Let me turn the camera around. So as you can see, we're back in my shop garage instead of the garage. I went and bought some concrete anchors, and I marked out the 4 holes for the tire changer, and we're gonna go ahead and just mount that in here. Another reason why I'm kind of doing it this way is because then with these ground anchors, if I get battle ropes for my gym, I can take the battle ropes and bolt them right into the floor and then just do them in my driveway here. So we're still at the same spot we were before though. The vehicle still only has 1 tire on it, as you can, well, one of the good, quote unquote, good tires. But yeah, now I'm working on just trying to get this bolted in so I can see if this is going to make it easier to pull the tire off of there, because it's just so dry rotted trying to spin that around and get the bead off the rim. And again, I do think that tire is a 1 size smaller tire. I think it's just making it extra difficult. So fingers crossed it's not a 14-inch rim for real. But yeah, otherwise we've got this. I might bolt it down as is just to see how this is going to work. Because it should be, by all accounts, good enough where it sits right now to get this done. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. Maybe once I get this figured out, I'll do some recording of me actually getting the tire the rest of the way off. But I'm not going to record all 4 tires. I don't want to bore you guys. Again, there's so many videos out there on how to change the tires that I feel like that isn't going to help anybody. I just kind of more want to show the struggles I'm going through as a novice. You know, and maybe some of what I run into can make you aware of the challenges you might run into. So, and in that note, we're gonna it's gonna cut, so we'll stop here and we'll pick up in a minute. Once I got it bolted in to see if this is even gonna work. Like I said, I'm hoping 2 bolts will at least be enough that I can start prying it. So we'll see what happens. I'll see you in a few. All right, I don't know if this is a very good angle, but we'll try it. So I've got it bolted. It seems sturdy. I'm gonna go ahead and try to start pulling this off and we'll see what happens. Hopefully the bolts don't come ripping out on me, which it kind of feels like they might be. I'm gonna try to run this down a little bit more. I'm really hopeful that this is nice and tight. Oh, hey, we're getting somewhere. I feel it wanting to slide now. It seems to be working. Let me see if I can get a little better angle here. Well, my air compressor just kicked in. Sorry about that. Let me, boy. Well, it seems to be working. It's just so rotten. Like I gotta. I'd almost like to have the other ones bolted in. But on that note, I just got to notice that I'm running out of battery power on my phone. So we're going to leave it here. I'll update again once I've got the tire off and the new one on and everything. So I'll upload what I've got now and we'll pick up later with some additional updates once we get a little bit further with this. Talk to you guys again soon.